In the market where the Sanoa and the Voxy are king, I've been seeing a lot more of this on the roads. I don't know if you've noticed. And it's interesting, or it makes me curious because of all the fear guys have been sold about the Nissan. So I'm LP, and let's find out why the sudden shift. These cars brought to us courtesy of Yaya Cars. Hit them up, tell them LP sent you, and let's get back to the video. In terms of looks, I think it looks better than the Noah. But you guys tell me in the comments below. Coming to the front fascia, Nissan has tied everything out together. With the small Nissan Note to the Qashqai to this, they have similar looks. And you still get that split headlight thing where you have like your lights here at the top and your fog lights there at the bottom. On the side, you only get this S hybrid that tells you what kind of engine or powertrain you have with the car going on there. Get to the back, oh, and by the way, you have power sliding doors that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It depends on how the car feels. Yeah, depending on how the car feels. So it's a gimmick after all. It's a gimmick. You can always press this button and the car will close the doors for you. Let's get to the back. You get this connecting feature with the glass panel to the back, so you don't get this rear D-pillar. And it's a really interesting design. I like it. Coming to the back, you get this really big and wide tailgate, and it opens in two ways. You can either open the glass portion if you want to just pick something, or if you park the car full, like some people I know, I won't mention their names, you can stack some more after you've closed the boot and move forward to open the whole boot if you want that. You have parking sensors, no spare wheel underneath, and no spare wheel inside the car. The boot opens pretty high up because I'm about 6 and I'm not touching that area of the boot unless I come to the end here. You get those two gas struts there for both the full boot and the half boot. Inside your boot, you get your two third row seats that fold on the sides. A bit more space here at the bottom. There's usually something that covers here, but with this one, it's been misplaced, but it's still around somewhere in the showroom. If you want it, they'll bring it for you. Then you have the storage underneath there and space here for yourself. For third row seats, I still think, I know, the Stepwgn does it better because it hides the seats underneath the floor. So you have a bigger space without having all these seats on the sides of the car. And it gives you a wider loading area to put more things if you want. So the Stepwgn takes it there. With the seats down, you get a bigger space on the Prado. That's all I can say. So you're benefiting, you can flex on Prado guys for the space area you have here. Let's get to the third row seats and see what you have there. Here in the third row seats, you get adjustable seats. You can move them forward to increase boot space if you want to fit more things at the back. In the spirit of 7 seats or 8 seats, depending on how you configure this car, you can have 3 guys here at the back, and with my country people, the way I know them, they can fit 4 people here at the back. You have 2 cup holders on both sides. You have a USB port here to charge your phones and devices for kids here at the back. I get a tray with another cup holder. So if you have kids here at the back and you have small meals, they can eat them while you guys you're on the move or stationary. And the third row headrest has been stored here at the back if you're storing the car or such stuff. But you can put it here so the third row guy can have a place to rest their head. And for access, if I want to get out, I have a small step here at the bottom. I step on that, the seat folds and moves forward. And if I want to open the door, because this car is a right-hand drive, there's a button on the left-hand side. If I press that, it opens and closes this door for me from here at the back, which is really good. You don't see that in many cars, so I appreciate having that there. For materials, generally inside the Serena, you get cloth and plastics. You can get leather on higher trims, but in this one, the one that you have, it's cloth seats. The seats are comfortable, and I like that. I have that much space and loads of headroom. I can have a massive afro in here. For practicality, I get backseat pockets. Have this tray here that opens up with 2 cup holders on both sides, and they feel strong. Then you have a 3 kg double hook on both sides of the seats. And the same thing on the other seat. You can sit 3 guys here, and you have 2 child seat anchor points on both outer seats. The center seat is comfortable, and you can drop it down if you want to just have an armrest here and have like a captain chair kind of thing going on. And you have a bit of storage in there too, with 1 cup holder at the back and a space here, maybe that you can fit your small phone if you have a small phone like mine. Or if you want, you can do away with this whole thing and move it to the driver and have the captain chairs that I talked about, just now without an armrest. And another cool feature is you can move the seats that way to create more space for guys who want to exit and enter without having this there in the center. Still on practicality, you have peasant blockers on this car to help keep the sun off kids' face, or just to give a bit more privacy when you're here at the back. For connectivity, the only thing you have here is 2 USB-A ports on both seats, at the back of the seats. And that's it for things here at the back. Let's get to the front seats and see what we have there. For comfort materials, I have really comfortable seats. Nissan does really comfortable seats. I don't know what they put in the seats, but they're really comfortable. You get plastics all the way to the bottom, the bit of cloth material here that's soft-ish. You get soft material on the dashboard, on part of the dashboard, which is this faux leather, and the rest is all scratchy plastic. For storage spaces, you're spoiled for choice. You have 1, 2, 3, that's double. You have the top side and the lower side. 4, your cup holders. 5, a space to put your phone. 6, on the driver's side. 7, just behind the steering wheel. 8, door cards. For tech, you have your massive screen here at the center. You have your button for your cameras here for either the parking or the cameras. Underneath that, you have your hatchback controls and the buttons, so easy to dial things in. Under that, you have your parking brake, auto hold. And on this side of your steering wheel, you have your pre-collision alerts and traction control off button. On the steering wheel itself, you have your media controls on your left-hand side and cruise control buttons on your right-hand side. On the right-hand side of the steering wheel, you have your buttons for your doors for automatic open and close, and your auto start stop and eco button. Above this aftermarket cup holder, you have your trip reset there. So it covers it, but it's just underneath where you can reach it if you want to press anything. You get a secondary screen here, and when you put reverse, you don't get this reverse screen or video output on this screen here. You get it on the one that's on the dashboard, and other small details for your driving controls and everything here set to you on the small gauge class that you have. Yeah. One last thing, if baby girl is feeling a bit needy, you can always pull this forward, have her sit closer to you as you drive wherever you guys are going. But yeah, a really good idea, and some guys might really misuse it. Don't show this to your girlfriend. Let's get to under the bonnet and see what we have there. In this year model, you get 2 engines that are completely different. In the one we have here, it's a 2-liter S hybrid. It's not really a hybrid, but more of like a mild hybrid, or like a really tiny hybrid, where you have a motor that's like a starter motor that runs things like start, stop, go, and gives you a small boost when you're taking off. It won't help much with fuel economy if you're looking for that. Then there's the second one, which is a 1.2-liter e-power. This is the futuristic engine where you find the 1.2-liter acts as a generator that charges a battery that powers a motor. In that engine, the car acts like an EV. You get instant torque and it's very quiet. The most common issue with this car is the transmission issue. and Nissans are known for this. So service your engine on time or between 40,000 kilometers or 50,000 kilometers. Change the filter, clean up the pickup. Then have yourself an oil cooler to keep the temps inside the transmission low. The second issue is with the hybrid, the one that has the 1.2 liter engine. The cooling fans are usually under the front seats. So if they're not cleaned or checked on, the battery might overheat and you'll have less efficient batteries moving forward. You can pause to go through the other issues we have with the Nissan Serena. To conclude, I still think the Serena looks better than the Noah. And if you take care of the small issues it has, I think you have yourself a really good steal here with this car. If the Serena doesn't do it for you or doesn't tickle your fancy the way you want, here are other videos you can check out. I'm El.P, and I'll catch you there.